All right, everyone, we're back. This is Marvin Espy, and you're watching Art by Espy Art Instruction. And we are working on this sunflower patch. And we are going to create depth by showing at least 3 layers of depth. So we have the sky, that is the furthest layer back, the tree line, and then the patch itself, and then right up front we're going to put this beautiful sunflower. So I have mixed a kind of grayish blue that I'm going to use to put. You see these wonderful shadows in the sky? I want to show those shadows. So I'm going to go in and but first I'm going to, with some clear water, I'm gonna mark out some places where I want the water to flow and where I want that water to stop. So these clouds, might have been a good idea for me to maybe give myself a little pencil outline, right? I wanna be careful not to make those pencil lines dark enough, because I don't want them to be too dark. I don't want them to show through. There you go. All right. So with that edge, just a little water. I'm gonna let it bleed down to this edge here. And let it fade over here. And here I want to capture the top of the clouds. And I'm gonna let that cloud stop at a given spot. All right, so with the water in there, let's go into this gray. Hopefully this gray I mixed is dark enough. Make it a little darker. You don't know what you got until you sometimes test it on your paper. I often have a little paper on the side that I use as a tester. Here we go. I'm trying to make the top of those clouds just a little puffy, and then let it bleed down. Let that bleed fade. Or do I want, or maybe we'll make it come kind of tight. There we go. Got a little hair on the paper, but you'll get that later. Let's see where that bleeds down to. I'm gonna allow this to collect a little bit here. I think it might give me a nice effect. And then over here, see if that paint can just wash right out into the sky. Like here. There we go. All right. I'm gonna come back later and I'm gonna use some gouache to give me some ray or some light hitting those clouds, some sunlight. All right, so now let's get into the sunflower. And oh, I like this yellow, so I'm gonna go right with this yellow. I'm gonna start with this brightest value, but then I'm gonna tone it down in just a bit with a more gray tone. But first, I want to put it on here nice and bright. I am going to extend that out into that tree line a bit. Yeah. Sometimes a yellow or even some of my reds can go almost opaque over your background color. Sometimes you can get that opaque quality. And I'm gonna purposefully leave some white edges in here, just to show the brilliance of that flower. Use your brush effectively. Let your brush create some of the marks that you're looking for. I got some shadows in there. I may add some of those now. How about I add some of those now? I'm gonna mix a little of this blue in here. Maybe some brown. I think I need a little raw umber. Not quite enough. A little bit more brown. While that's still wet, I'm gonna get a little brown in there. You see how with that yellow still being wet, getting a little nice little blend in there. And then this is a bit more of a wash. Definitely want it a little darker at the bottom. I just want to show the depth. Now the head of this sunflower is spiky, and I'm going to indicate those spikes in a bit, but I'm going to suggest some of it now in a soft way. But then I'm going to come back with some when this is dry. All right, clean up that yellow and add, I'm gonna do some more of these sunspots. I want that a little bit less of the white in there. It feels a little choppy. There we go. Now, where I've got the background painted through, that yellow's going to be a little paler, and that's going to be good because it's going to serve to recess these other flowers. I want them to be a bit recessed. everything needs to be the star. We need to have, in every performance, there's a lead performer, star of the show. And not everyone can be the star. There, so see my spots of light, not my George Bush points of light. All right. And then that one's a little, make that a little muddy here. I noticed some sunflowers have a really dark face, and some are, maybe this one shed its seeds. I think I want to make those a little darker, just for composition's sake. But before I do that, I need to let it dry a bit. So we're 11 minutes in. Gonna take another break and let that dry.